This is Vidya with Verity, and I'm Verity Jo Coonan, breathwork facilitator and founder of Vidya Breathwork, and someone who has, for over a decade, sat with people in the realest, rawest moments of their lives. This show is for the ones who are ready to go all the way into the real story, the real body, the real work. Raw conversations, honest truth, and the tools that actually create change. Let's go. Welcome back to another episode of Vidya with Verity. Let's begin with our breath. This is a big one. Take a big inhale, fill it all the way to your lower belly. And as you exhale, sigh it out. Beautiful and welcome. Things start going well. A new client, a launch that performs, an opportunity that arrives exactly at the right time. And something in you, something quiet and fast, starts pulling back. You procrastinate on the follow-up. You undersell in the sales conversation. You price it lower than you intended. You spend the windfall before you've even fully received it. You find a reason not to send the pitch, not to post the content, not to take the meeting. And then you spend the next week or the next month trying to figure out what is wrong with you. Nothing is wrong. Your nervous system is doing exactly what it was trained to do. And today we're going to map it out exactly what that is, so you can stop fighting it and just start working with it. We hear about nervous systems all the time now, so let's build a really beautiful relationship with your own. I'm Verity Jo Coonan, and this is Vidya with Verity. Thank you for being back here. So we know self-sabotage is not a mystery. It's the nervous system doing its job, keeping you safe in a context where safety and growth are in conflict. When your system reads more money, more visibility, more success as a threat. And we're going to talk about why it does that. It's activating your protective mechanisms, not because it wants to hold you back. It wants you to succeed because it's trying to bring you back to what your body knows is safe. The specific form of self-sabotage, how it's shaped or the path it takes on, tells you something about which nervous system state is driving it. So if it's from sympathetic activation, which is fight or flight, self-sabotage tends to look like impulsivity, spending money as soon as it arrives, overcommitting, and then burning out, making reactive decisions from urgency rather than strategy. The system is in high gear. It wants to move fast, quick, and it needs to discharge the energy somewhere. When we look at self-sabotage from the dorsal vagal, which is the shutdown or freeze, self-sabotage looks like the opposite. Procrastination, avoidance, not sending the invoice, not following up, not showing up consistently. The system has gone underground and it's taking your income potential with it. It's taking you down. Two very different presentations, but the same root. A nervous system that doesn't feel safe enough to hold what's arriving or what it's about to receive. This is the part that often surprises people because why would success feel threatening? Surely the nervous system wants good things. The nervous system doesn't evaluate good or bad. Just like all of our emotions, it evaluates familiar and unfamiliar, known or unknown, predictable or unpredictable. So if you grew up in a household where money was a source of conflict, where more of it created tension or less of it created shame, where the adults around you had a complicated relationship with it, your system built a model. And money means disruption. Money means change. Change is dangerous to your system. Or the opposite, perhaps success in your early environment had a social cost, the tall poppy syndrome dynamic, being seen as too much, too ambitious, too far from the group. The nervous system learned standing out is risky, and that mentality of staying close to the herd kicked in. Or perhaps the people you love, your family, your community are in different financial realities to you, or the one that you're moving into. And somewhere in the system, there is a loyalty conflict in your body. Growing into a different financial reality can feel to the nervous system like leaving behind your old life or people. None of these are logical, right? They're conscious thoughts. They are body level conscious drawn from real time experience. And they run the show until they are seen and worked with. I will name some of the specific self-sabotage patterns for you so you can start to recognize your own signature. You agree to a price and then quietly add more and more value without renegotiating. The nervous system is managing the discomfort of being paid by making sure you can earn more than you charged. Or perhaps late invoicing. You do the work and then delay sending the invoice, sometimes for days, sometimes months. The act of formally asking to be paid triggers enough activation that you just avoid it. Preemptive discounting. Before the client has even mentioned the price, you offer a reduction. The nervous system is managing anticipated rejection before it even arrives. Or spending. A significant payment arrives and within days or weeks it has been dispersed. The body can't hold the feeling of having more than the usual. It needs to return to the familiar. Visibility. Things start gaining momentum and you go quiet on social media. Slow down on content, become less available. The activation of being seen at scale is more than the system can hold. So it retreats. And not a good retreat in Bali. It retreats to not doing much. Did any of those land? Share with me. I would love to know. I always feel like with this stuff, the more you are open about it and vulnerable, the quicker awareness comes and you can nip it in the bud. Then here is the most practical thing I can offer you in this whole conversation. The financial decisions you make from a dysregulated state will almost always replicate the old pattern, regardless of how good your intentions are or how much you understand the dynamic intellectually. Understanding doesn't override the survival response in real time. Only regulation does. So practice this before any significant financial decision or action, whether you trade, whether you invest, sending the invoice, setting the price, responding to an offer, making a purchase. Check in with the body and pause. Take an audit. And notice where you are on the ladder right now, whether you're in ventral, vagal, sympathetic, or dorsal. If you're in sympathetic, which means you're activated, you feel like there's urgency, you're slightly reactive. It's not the state from which you want to make financial decisions from. Slow the breath down, extend your exhale. Wait until the activation has moved through your body before you act. And I've said this before, I always think about 7 belly breaths is where I'm able to bring my body back to the parasympathetic or ventral vagal. And if you're in dorsal, you're probably feeling flat, avoidant, going through the motions. The invoice will not get sent from here. First step is activation, not decision making, movement, cold water on the face, humming, something that brings the body back online, and then act. Regulate first, decide second, every time. When it comes to these practices, I want to keep them small and simple so you can integrate and actually use them, because you will be making decisions very quickly in real time throughout your day-to-day life. So adding these habits and practices in will be the biggest game changer. Next week, we go into the somatic experience of receiving. Why saying yes to money, to opportunity, to recognition can feel threatening to the body at some times, even when it is what you want. It can be the most counterintuitive, but most important conversation, because receiving is just as, if not more important than being able to give. Share this if you want to spread some Zen and good money-making decisions to your friends, to your family, to your partner. If this landed in some way, or if it named something or called you out, share. Verity Jokin on Instagram and I will see you next week. Ciao. That's it for this week. If something landed for you, please share it with someone who's genuinely ready to hear this. And I would love if you have 2 minutes to leave us a review on wherever you listen to your podcast, because this genuinely helps people find us. You can find me on Instagram at Verity Jo Coonan, and if you're interested in becoming a breathwork facilitator or joining the Vidya app, I'll link it all in the show notes. See you soon.